What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Money Mindset channel, where we talk about personal finance, investing into the stock market, investing into real estate, and just talking about money and what we could do with our money to grow it even larger than what we have today. Please subscribe if you are new and smash the like button on this video before we get started. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you could get 2 free stocks. Remember, guys, link down below. You get 2 free stocks with the Webull app with just a small deposit of $1. So do that now if you haven't already, and 1 free stock of Robinhood when you just sign up. So go ahead and do that, guys, to get into the game. So initially, going back to what I was gonna say was that, debt shouldn't be looked at in a bad way. Actually, I think that everybody should love debt and everybody should learn how to use debt. When you hear debt, you probably think of something negative. And I don't blame you if you definitely do this. I used to think the same way, and I used to not want to get a credit card because everybody said credit cards are bad. But I realized that it's the way that you use debt, and that will show you if you like it or not, or if you hate it. So what I mean by the way you use debt, I have debt as well, not in credit cards, not in a car, not in a house, but just student loans. So a lot of us are probably in this boat where we do have student loans and we're paying off this crazy amount of debt. Luckily, my debt load is not too much. It's definitely manageable. But there are some people drowning in student loan debt and even car debt and just home debt, credit cards. I know this is a very popular one when people say that stay away from credit cards, they're bad. But no, it depends on which side of the debt you're on. I'm going to be talking about why, you should love debt and you shouldn't be afraid of debt. So let's talk about credit cards first. So credit cards usually get the bad rep. It's because the person who has the credit card uses it irresponsibly. Usually when you do, have no money, you have a credit card and you need an emergency expense, okay? And you swipe away and then you get 1 month to pay it back off. But people use this irresponsibly by, just buying stuff, that you have to have the same amount of cash in your bank account equivalent to what you spend. I only use credit cards. It might sound like that's dangerous, and I don't use debit cards at all, but I am well trained when it comes to knowing how much I can spend on my credit card because I have that amount of money in cash. If you spend more than what you have in cash, then now you're in debt to your credit card. And it's just so easy with credit cards to just swipe away and not even think about it, especially if you're going out to eat, buying some clothes, just paying an expense here and there. It all adds up, guys. And when you do that with cash, going out to eat, buying something here, and you run out of cash, you can no longer buy anything. But with a credit card, you have a credit limit, and let's just say it's $10,000 and you only have $5,000 in cash. Once you spend the $5,000 on the credit card, then anything past that $5,000 you don't have the money for. So it's easy to just swipe away because it's available to you, but we don't want to do that. That is just bad debt habits. On the other side, I would say don't use debt unless it's going to create a return for you. Yes, credit cards, if you have cash and you're going to pay the card off at the end of the month in full, do that. But let's just say, if you're getting a loan for like a home, then you could use that money, okay, the debt that you're going to be accruing, and you could buy a house and then you could put a renter in it. So this means that you're creating cash flow off of your debt, which means that it's good debt. And there's this thing called good debt versus bad debt. And this is what I'm explaining to you. The first example of the credit card would be using bad debt because it's not collecting any money from you. The whole point of money is to make more money and, to spend it. But you guys want to spend it on something that is going to create a return. So like I said, the house example, you have a mortgage. Let's just say the loan for $100,000 and your monthly payments are $600 for your mortgage. So if it rents out for $1,000, then you're making $400 in cash flow. You have $400 to spend on whatever you want because you used a loan, which was $600 a month, and put a renter in it, and you created $1,000 from that renter every month. So you pay off the mortgage, and then you have money left over just to do whatever you want with it. That is called good debt, and that's exactly how we should look at debt. When somebody says that credit cards or debt is bad, take that with a grain of salt and ask them why they say that. Because most of the time, probably 99% of the time, is that they're not using debt effectively and they're not using debt right. Another bad example would be a car. So like if you take out a loan on a car, that is bad debt unless you're trying to, rent it out all the time. I know there's this app called Turo where you could, put your car up for rent. So some people can just, book your car and then they can use it for the weekend and then you're getting paid that. I would say as long as you rent out your car and it's more than your payments every single month and you're making cash flow, then that's a good investment on that car loan. But necessarily people don't use cars for things like that. They use it just to drive around and get to work, and do what they want to do and where they want to go, which is actually really, really bad because then you have to pay interest on the loan. And guys, cars are depreciating assets. Whoever tells you that they're appreciating is a liar, and do not listen to them. Listen to me. They are depreciating assets. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get a 2020 car, I promise you by the time next year, they're going to drop another car, which is 2021. And so which means that your car is just now older than the newest model out, which means that your current car, the 2020, is less than what the 2021 car is because it's no longer brand new. And the demand for it goes down because over time, your car gets messed up, mileage, and just wear and tear on the car. So really look into leasing versus buying. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but definitely do that. And just understand, guys, that a car is not a good investment when it comes to, cash on cash return or just creating a return from debt if you are financing the car. You guys should use debt and learn how to use debt to leverage other people's money. So this is called OPM. So this is why the rich people use my money and your money and your friends' money and your family's money to create returns. I usually like to use this example of a bank. So when you put $1,000 into the bank, they are already using that $1,000 to invest into an asset that's going to create a return so that they can give you those high yield savings account interest rates or the regular savings interest rates from your money that you put in, because essentially the bank takes your money and then they invest it because they understand that you don't want to invest that money. The government gives them permission to invest it on your behalf. Even though when you do take out the $1,000, right? You still have $1,000, yes, but in actuality, once it's put in, they have it on their books as an extra $1,000 that then they can allocate to somewhere. If you need a loan for a car, you're going to get it from most likely a bank. It's because the people who deposit money into the bank are giving the bank that money to use into investments. You see what I'm saying? So you guys just got to understand how debt works, really. And, see at all times if you're taking money out or taking a loan out for something, see if it's able to create a return. You shouldn't take out loans unless they are creating a return or if it's an investment. If it's a car, buy a car with cash. You know what I'm saying? Like buy a used car. You do not need a used car, or probably lease a car. Like look into these things before you guys make impulsive decisions, because that is where it's going to lead you to a lifelong journey of paying down debt. Even just student loans, like right when you turn 18, you go to college, you're already negative net worth. You already had nothing from the start, and then you take out loans. And some people have $200,000 to $300,000 in student loans, and it's becoming like an epidemic. I think there's $1.4 trillion of student loan debt, which is outrageous because the banking system and just the culture of our society is making us think that we need college and that it's an essential to life, when really we don't really need it. You know what I'm saying? We're just been sold this lie so that the banks and the government can give out loans to people so that they can pay interest, making that money work for them. So it's about which side of the fence are you on. Are you on the side where you're collecting interest and you're collecting cash flow, or are you on the side where you're paying out somebody's passive income, or you're paying out the interest? You got to get on the right side, and the right side, 1,001%, is getting on the side where you are receiving, income from loaning out your money or using your money to invest into something. It should never be on the other side of the spectrum where, you're just, paying interest all the time, and, you're not having any cash flow come in, you know. I hope you guys like this video a lot. Please smash the like button on this. I can't stress that enough. If you guys can get like 30 likes on this video, that'd be awesome. It's good for the algorithm and it's good for my channel because it helps me grow and reach more people. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. And if you have watched all the way up until this part, thank you guys so much. It means so much for the retention time of this video and the watch time, because that also helps out the algorithm. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about in the next video, but you guys will have to see. Stay subscribed. Thank you guys.